tell us a little bit about how your process works. How do you, so there's all this stuff coming out of Bamboozer and on YouTube. How do you authenticate what is really news and what's valid, and explain how you work with the newsrooms?
I suppose we started off from the assumption that basically old journalism wasn't dead. If ever there was a need for good old-fashioned fact-checking, validation, verification techniques, it was right now. So you've got the publishers on the one hand, as we heard this morning, are screaming for content. But over here, there's 72 hours of YouTube video uploaded every single minute. And it was 24 hours 2 years ago. And so how do you make the transition between, how do you make user content usable by not just a newsroom, but by a digital publisher? So we start from that basis, and we're all journalists. Storyful is 30 people. We're, in Asia, the United States, in Ireland as well. We're all sort of emigres or exiles from established news organizations. And what we all realize is the only innovation really that could happen right now was outside of news organizations that are trying to protect an old business model, because in many ways that's impeded. And I think even people in big organizations realize they're very frustrated at the pace. I think we heard today from Peter talking about the idea of being frustrated at technological sort of the lack of imperative about it. So what we do is we take the journalists, we've worked out workflows where we can discover, validate, and deliver the content that we're finding on the social web. So for example, we use a lot of technology in the way we discover, a lot of algorithms to analyze the conversations that are taking place around news events. Our founding principle is that every news event creates a community on the social web. And as long as you engage with and understand and analyze that community, you get to the content quicker. And then as you seek to validate, as long as you engage with that community on scale, you can start to work out the detail that make that video actionable. So for example, you see a video coming out of allegedly Aleppo, and you're engaging with the community to translate, to work out accents, to work out shadows, time of day, to work out weather conditions, to check contemporaneous reporting, to talk to all the people you know can distinguish an Aleppo accent from a Damascus accent, and you're using technology to essentially speed this up and scale it. And you can deliver essentially without all the labor intensiveness of having your own internal social media unit or UGC unit, a video to one of our partners, and it can go straight out, and in some cases they're cutting and pasting the context that we're giving them and putting it straight onto live blogs. And I think it was a point made this morning about journalists now, more than ever, we're no longer talking about a scarcity of information. We're the managers of an overabundance. We're the editors. We're the guides. There is no value anymore in proprietary, interesting content. The value is in news organizations like ours and existing news organizations being the editors for users who are trying to work out how to distinguish between that Bamboozer user in Homs and someone else who's using an account to broadcast stuff that may actually be fake or misleading.
So Mark, what's the sort of the next step for you guys in terms of your business model, where you want to go? We talked a little bit about a sort of a B2B or white label, or tell us a little bit where this company might be going.
I mean, like any startup, and particularly in an area like this, you start out not quite knowing where you're going to end up. And, we were thinking about consumer applications of this, but very quickly we realized we are an enterprise play. We are helping digital publishers and newsrooms make that transition. So we want to equip them. So for 2 years we've perfected, I think, our product. It has a long way to go, and we're working with partners to try and make it better. We've kind of established, I think, 3 layers of value. So we started out working with social networks, with YouTube, helping them raise the value of content within their ecosystem by validating it. And then we moved on to working with big news organizations who had big problems and helping them. We're starting to see now 3 layers. The bottom are the small newsrooms who desperately need help in leveraging social content, because they don't have enough money to buy a big wire package, but they desperately need to engage with their communities. So we, in many ways, are developing a dashboard for them that will be an intelligence network for them. The bigger news organizations, we're working on a lot of projects which we're really excited about, not just in discovering or validating, but also delivering to new audiences. So live blogs, we think, are where we're going to be basically supplying the raw material. And finally, it's in the area of any publisher who requires news-related content on any vertical. The model we perfected for Syria works just as well in viral or sports or cars. And so in that sense, and because it's now increasingly automated, we do see huge demand for any content that's not only going to attract eyeballs to a site, but prompt a user to take content they find on any site and push it out into their social graph with some sort of brand going along with it. And I think that's for us very exciting. So those three levers for going forward, more than enough there, I think, to sustain not just our business, but also I think other businesses that are sitting here today. We're part of, I think, a new ecosystem.